talk about college. I am a bachelor. I just got my bachelor's degree in June this year, 2020, last year. And I graduated from UCR, Riverside. I graduated with a bachelor's in public policy, and I got 2 associate's degrees in general studies, like for arts, liberal arts, and I forgot what the other one was, from Pierce College. And now I'm going back to college, and since I've already experienced college and university, I kind of wanted to give my experience, advice, just from my personal experience, since now I've completed 4 years and I'm going back, and I've decided to change my career and I guess my future as well. I wanted to start off with giving the benefits and cons of going to college first, i.e. going to transfer to university as opposed to going straight to university out of a high school, or restarting your education and starting at college and transferring to university. Okay, so I'm learning. I just overrided some audio, so I'm starting again. So starting at community college. Starting at community college, the benefits. I was in community college for 2 years. I went straight out of high school, so 2016, and I believe around September, I began my freshman year of college, and my brother was actually helpful. Both of my brothers who were in school at the same time helped me with financial aid, and my mom filled that out for me, and they give you a lot of aid, which is cool. I think I got around $6,000 a semester, and they divide that, and I think it's really helpful. You don't really need a job as long as you're living with your parents, and you could help out your parents if you need to. You can save for a car, which I didn't. You could save for anything else, but I also didn't do that. Advice: if you want to save money, then save it. If you want to have it saved, then open a savings account. You're gonna need. It's more beneficial to have it in your debit card, because the cards they give you are a little finicky. They don't have those ATMs everywhere, and you don't really want to get charged for it if you were going to any ATM. So I would say definitely open a debit card account if you don't have one already. Also, my brother told me to start my credit, and I barely did, so you can start that too. So yeah, I started my freshman year, and my brother also helped me with a program called EOPS. If you have it in any of your schools, then I would recommend doing that. It's basically a program that offers you some financial assistance if you already qualify for financial aid, and other assistance like tutoring. So if you have any programs like that, just apply. It doesn't hurt to do so. Another thing with financial aid is make sure you're doing the right year. Me personally, for this time that I'm starting school again, I did the wrong year, and you're supposed to put in all the schools that you want to go to, even the ones that you're not sure. What if you go and it's already there? It doesn't affect you to have more schools that you go to or not, because it's not going there unless you're accepting the award. I was on the path to transfer, and that takes 2 years if you want it done. I enjoyed acting since high school, and so I kind of wanted to implement that and take some more classes, have some more fun, but I evidently just decided to kind of get school over with, because I never really liked school, so I went straight for my major and tried to transfer in just 2 years, which is only 4 semesters. It could be like 8 if you include, or 10 if you go through both summer sessions each year, and maybe even the one before, that could be 12, but that it's really hot. So yeah, I was on a path just to complete school and not necessarily to have fun. I was really also very shy, which I still am, and I would recommend, if you are shy, just let go of that, because in the end you're just going to regret it. Just really have a sit down with yourself and say, what does it benefit me to be shy? When will I step out of my comfort zone if I never step out of my comfort zone? I would always be like, oh, well, when this happens, and I recently learned that it's never going to happen unless you want it to happen. Just be honest with yourself, real. So yeah, I was just trying to get school over with. I had taken 2 jobs for tutoring, and I only had enough time to take classes that were going to take me straight to university. And I also wanted to take advantage of all the years I had for financial aid. The Pell Grant is 6 years, and I believe the Cal Grant is 4. So I could have assistance all the way until I completed my master's degree, which I was assuming that I would need. I didn't necessarily know. I didn't do too much research. I went for public policy as a major because I figured if I do want to change my mind, I have kind of a umbrella major where I could do sociology or some advocacy or something with animals, changing laws to help people in some way, or do something under the law that helps people in some way. But I also don't necessarily love the law, and I was learning that all those classes I was taking were pretty boring to me. And I was thinking, well, once I get to my master's, once I get to my bachelor in university, I'll be taking classes that I'll be enjoying more. And that wasn't the case for me, and now I'm going back. So I would say really also sit down with yourself and think, is this what I think is successful, or is this what's going to make me successful? Because the only thing that will make you successful in life is if you're happy and well. And if you already don't like it and honestly hate it in school, you're not going to like it ever. So yeah, I think that the benefits of going to community college first is you have that time to really decide what you want to do. I honestly also believe it's a big shock to go straight from high school being a child to being an adult in university, because that is what you're going to be expected to do. There is still some leniency. They know that they're teaching kids, but you don't have your parents if you're deciding to transfer to a place that you're going to live in a dorm or an apartment nearby, and you don't really have enough leniency with the professors or with the program that you're in to really explore outside and try to see what you want to do. It's also expensive if you're paying, if your family's paying, or it's going to waste more financial aid when you could also be getting more financial assistance, because all the aid that you are given, it's either going to be going all to you and the rest, all to the school and the rest to you, and for community college it's a lot cheaper than university. So university will end up with more of your aid than you will. And in college, it'll all get paid and you end up with more than you would in university. Another thing is, yeah, like I said, it's a good transition. You will probably most likely be staying at home if you're in community college, and you'll get that good in between, kind of like middle school from elementary to high school, High school is just straight on to university. Even college is still a bit of a shock. You still have to do everything yourself. Your parents can't go and talk to them for you. Not necessarily the idea. So, yeah, I honestly believe that it's a good, and you also get a lot of assistance if there's way less students in the classes, at least in the beginning. In university, it ends up kind of evening towards the end of your years, but you're able to gain a connection with your professors, and you have more assistance with counseling, especially if you're in a program like EOPS. I got a lot of assistance, and I was able to transfer easily, and if it was what I had really wanted to do, it would have helped me a lot. Okay, so now let's get into the cons of going to community college first and deciding to transfer. Personally, the things that I've witnessed are that when you are going straight to university, you have all that time and all those years to get to know your fellow classmates and all the people who are also on the same path as you, you'll end up seeing them again. And I was able to see a lot of the same students again for the 2 years, but it's kind of like moving into a different city and going to a different high school in the middle of the 4 years, and all these people already have connections that you don't. They already have connections to the area and the professors, even, because you'll get the same professors again, almost definitely. So, and that's another thing, once you start school, you should already be thinking about recommendations, letters of recommendation, building relationships with your professors and with other professionals in the university or college. And obviously the ones in university are a little more important than the ones in college. They have for some reason their names are just stand out more to wherever you're applying. So that's definitely a con. Another one is all that time, again, they're in a quarter system, not a semester system. Some community colleges might be, but the ones that I know aren't. And so when you're in a university, you have double the time, and maybe even a little more time to take some more classes that you thought were interesting or thought might be fun. And in community college, as I said before, you don't really have that time. So basically what I hope you get out of this is, get to know what schools you're going to, get to know what you're going to school for, get to know yourself. Do you really think that you're going to want to do that for the rest of your life, or even for the next 6 years, 8 years, 12 years studying it? Like, you have to love it. If you don't love a subject in school, it's probably not what you're going to go for. And if a subject is similar to a major that you're pursuing, realize how much of that subject is going to be involved in your schooling, and then also in your career, how much you're going to have to look into that. Again, do you want to? Another thing is, again, financial aid. Find out how to get financial aid if you can. Find out the deadlines. Find out what you need to provide. Have that all ready at least a month before, because if there's any issues, it's going to take business days. It's not just going to be, whenever they say like 3 to 5 days, it's business days. Another thing is your transcripts. They usually take about 10 days to get to schools, at least. So I would say send that in early too. Again, work on your letters of recommendation. From the beginning, go to office hours. Professors literally have told me and other people, go to office hours, we're bored. Because nobody goes, because everybody's shy. And the people who do go, those are the people who end up top of their class, getting into all the schools that they wanted to go, because they do that, because they make relationships. They're smart in more ways than just academics. They have common sense and realize this is the person that's going to get me to where I want to be. So you be that person too. Don't be shy. They want to help. And if they seem a little rude, get to know them a little more. Maybe don't be scared of a professor. If you are, then your experience must not be going well. You're both adults at that point, so go talk to them. So yeah, back to office hours. I don't think I ever went to a professor's office hours, which is horrible. Not even when it was on Zoom, because my last quarter was on Zoom, the majority of it, and I didn't even do that. I was too shy. But not just that, I was experiencing a lot of depression. Somebody that I didn't have a close relationship with and never got the experience to, and it was just a very complicated relationship within the family, had passed away, and there was a lot of denial involved in it and with me, and I didn't see them before they died, and it was really hard. That was my last year, I believe. I was struggling with that a lot, and yeah, that was the summer before I went back to school for my second year, my senior year of college, and my dog also passed that year, and it was really hard, and I didn't really want to admit to myself that that was that hard. I mean, I did, but I didn't want to be open with my professors and tell them, can you give me a little bit more time? I was just thinking, no, everybody has bad days, everybody has bad years. If anybody else can do it, then I can do it without any special help or any, I don't know. They offer counseling and therapy in school, or they even give days where they bring puppies to school to help with students who are experiencing, bad days, anxiety. And, I would say if you're experiencing the same, then talk. Be open. Talk to somebody. Find a friend in class. Talk to someone from high school. Someone you were close with. Talk to a cousin. Talk to your parents. Because you might feel like, oh, well, I should be an adult now because I had moved out to go to university. And I was thinking, well, I should be an adult now. This is what I chose. I chose this. But I guarantee you, your parents don't. They don't want you to experience that. So take the help. It's there. And it'll make your college experience that much better. It'll make your grades that much better. It'll make all your relationships that much better if they know who you are and what you're experiencing. So that is honestly the most important advice that I'm going to give in this video. Even if you're not going to school, if you don't want to go to school, if you've never gone to career to pursue any higher education, if you're experiencing depression or any mental illness, just ask for help. No matter how hard it is. It's way harder to be experiencing it alone. So, if all you take out of this video is this, choose you, keep choosing you, and let's get happy together.